Welcome to Reputation Matters, the online course follow-up to the lecture that we did at Kansas earlier this year. My name is Bash Hallow. I'm a partner with Hallow Tassiva Consulting. I'm a certified veterinary practice manager and licensed veterinary technician, and I'll be your instructor for today. I want to thank Demand Force for making this follow-up continuing education possible. As a reminder, you'll be able to print out a certificate at the end of this course that can be used towards your continuing education credits for certification as a veterinary practice manager or recertification as a practice manager. Today's module is brief. We're just going to cover the 5 qualifying elements of online presence, and then we'll follow up with a brief quiz that will help you retain the information and just turn it over a little bit better in your mind. Let's get started. The first qualifying aspect of online presence is whether or not people can see you. You're looking at the top fold of the page, the most valuable piece of real estate in an online search, and it's your job to make sure that your practice shows up here. If your practice is not listed in the top fold of the page, research shows that at least 33% of your possible audience will not scroll below what is shown here to look for you. The next qualifying aspect of online presence is identity. If we're going to be seen, we want to make sure that we do a good job at representing who we are. This poor animal clinic has done nothing but mark their identity off on the internet. They've done nothing to distinguish themselves from any of the other animal hospitals that might appear in a search. If you want to have an online presence, you don't want to just be found in search engine results. You want to make sure that when people find you, they understand a little bit about what makes you special and how you stand out from the crowd. If your identity is about what you say about you, then your online reputation is about what others say about you. And that's very important for how people come to understand whether or not they should do business with you and what you're really about. Online reputation can help you in search engine results whether your reputation is good or bad, because being reviewed means that your practice is being cited on other places online. And that's important to search engine rankings. And we'll talk about citation in just a few more slides. If reputation is what people have said about you in the past, then engagement is what people are saying about you now. And engagement is defined in 2 ways. It's not only about the ongoing dialogue and whether or not people are interested in you. For example, at Guilford Jamestown Veterinary Hospital, their Facebook page has 48,000 likes. That's pretty good. That means that people have been engaged with Guilford Jamestown Veterinary Hospital in the past, and that's great. Every time they post something, those posts are going to come in to these 48,000 members' feed, and they'll have an opportunity to weigh in on what they think about those particular posts. I want to show you another great website, which is the Bangor Humane Society Facebook page. Check out the kind of engagement that's going on here. People are regularly commenting on the posts. Bangor Humane Society is commenting back. And then something is happening that is essential to high search engine ranks. That's sharing. Sharing is one of the most critical aspects of engagement because it's how the search engines have now determined whether or not something is really relevant. Remember, search engines are trying to match what the person asking the question, what their needs, with a relevant source out there online. And search engines are determining if lots of people are sharing material, then it must be worth mentioning. And so they're going to offer that up in the search engine results. And then citation is probably the most critical defining element of online presence. There are two elements of citation that we're going to talk about. As I mentioned in the previous slide, the search engines are trying to match the needs of the people making a query online with whatever information is out there. They want to offer up the most relevant information. How do they decide what that is? Well, one of the defining characteristics for relevancy with respect to the search engines is whether or not other websites are commenting about it, whether or not other sites think it's so interesting that they would actually cite it. And that's done often with a link, a hyperlink from their site to your site. I've shown a variety of other sites online, Google+, Bing, LinkedIn, and then social media sites like Reddit. And then there are even these third-party companies with whom we do business, Trupanion and CareCredit. It's possible to be listed on any number of these sites. And the more sites that list our practice, the more relevant the search engines are likely to believe us to be. Citation also matters because it helps search engines determine what we're all about. So, as a way of illustrating, I've done a search for I have a dream. Now, when I type that into the software, the search engine, Google believes that I'm looking for Martin Luther King's I have a dream speech. But if I were to search for I have a dream each night, Google does not offer up Martin Luther King's speech, but offers me sites about dream interpretation. How does Google know that? Well, what Google is doing is Google is looking at the citations that come out of these particular websites and go to other websites, and which websites are referring back to the sites shown in this search engine result. By taking a look at what these sites say they're about and what all the other sites that they're referring to, what they're about, Google comes to understand that these results are more relevant to me than Martin Luther King's speech. So I hope that this has been helpful. Those were the 5 qualifying elements of online presence. We discussed visibility, whether or not you're visible at all, if we can find you, who you are, your identity. We talked about what other people are saying about you online. And we talked about whether or not people are engaging with you on a regular basis by interacting with you on social media, and most importantly, sharing your material to other sites and with other people online. And lastly, the most important ingredient of all with respect to online presence, and that's citation. What hyperlinks are embedded in your material online? Where are they going? And in the whole online world, who has a hyperlink back to you? The number of these links demonstrate relevancy to Google. And where these links go to helps Google understand what we're all about. I hope that this has been helpful. We're going to take a quick quiz now before we move on to the next module.